You alright? I ain't asking about me, kid. I am asking about you. Are you okay? Nothing hit yet that your anger couldn't fix. Good. That's good. See? I told you it was worth it to dedicate some arcana and time to empower a dedicated healing gun. I know you were worried about the toll it will take on your reserves to maintain, reload, and grow to bond my arcane arms. But your regeneration grew to meet the demand, just like I said it would. And now, you got a handy-dandy pocket heal, a doubly powerful one, since you went for that little double barrel number. Good call, it healed you right up after. After that. What about me? Well, some half-blind marmot of a gun mage in that last fight somehow managed to hit my little antler harmless snuff-nose with a spell hot enough to melt it to slag, while I was trying to heal that shrapnel wound that looked like it was gonna kill you there for a minute. Not that it will do me much good here, anyways. I dedicated it to wound healing, not curse breaking. No, the wounds aren't the thing that's killing me, kid. I took a nasty spell out there, near as I can guess. It was some kind of specialized arcana bleed curse. Hit me right in my center mass too. Now, I'm licking arcana like a stuck pig, and when my body runs out, well, you've seen arcana bleed victims up close before. I don't need to explain it to you. Real life ain't like those stories they used to read you in the orphanage. Kid, there isn't always something you can do to fix everything. Sometimes, not everybody gets to make it to the end of the story. Hey now, don't you go grieving me before my time. We still have a little while. Till this time course takes me to the big whole saloon in the sky, and I've got a few things to say to you before I got aboard that final train to the beyond. Good, glad you're listening. First things first. I wanna tell you that the last few years of my life have been the best that anybody could ever ask for. When I found you in the alley of the dank wreck of a town you called a city, it was as thin in spirit and will as you were in body. We were both starving souls then, you physically and me spiritually. I was in a dark place, kiddo, had soiled my guns and magic with blood that I've only now just started to wash away. But when I met you, it was like a ray of sunshine hit my darkened life. I found a reason to live again, a calling, a mission, a family. It was like you put both hands around my heart and made it start beating again. Teaching you gun magic, watching you find your first arcane arm that beat up all sawed-off shotgun with the magic of the heart and home, forever dedicating it to the protection of both, showing you what it means to be a true Spellslinger. That made me remember that these hands of mine aren't just for running, that my guns and my magic ain't just for causing pain and hurting folks. Made me see it wasn't too late to dedicate myself to something better than my own grief. Helping you become the person, the Spellslinger, that you were always meant to be. Well, it made me better. Not good, not absolved of my sins, but better. Yeah, you always say that. Still don't know why you think I'm worth looking up to after all this time. I would have thought you would have known better by now. Oh, well, thank you, kid. I suppose I can't argue with that. If I can admire you for saving me, ain't fair if you can't do the same. Whoa, slow down, kid. You're talking so fast, I can't. Oh, thank you, kiddo. I love you too. I'm glad I got to fill the role your parents left behind. That means the world to me. To tell you the truth, I've been thinking of you as my kid for a long while now. A legacy I can leave behind and be proud of. Hey, don't. Don't cry on me, kid. Save those tears for once it's over. For once that bastard is 46 feet deep in the earth, and you have time to pour one out over my grave. That's it. There you go. Wipe those tears away and let your war face slip back on. 'Cause this fight ain't over yet, kiddo. The world ain't free from the tyranny, terror, and magical horrors it's been subjected to these last centuries. So long as the Monarch of Roses and Thorns draws breath, nowhere and nothing will ever be a true home or heart, so long as the Monarch remains. Yeah, and until the Monarch is dealt with, the gods' chosen hero's duty will not be done. A shame they're all dead and buried. But that's okay. We don't need those fancy bastards. Anyways, the gods abandoned this world long ago. Why should we ever have expected anything better from their chosen? No, I ain't being too hard on them. Those heroes had everything given to them. Holy magics, the best year, a decade of training, and each generation of heroes still failed. Never even made it to the Monarch. Oh, hell. That one wasn't great. Where was I? Oh, right. Look at you versus them, kid. And urging from nowhere, kicked out of the orphanage you were toast in when your parents died. Living on the streets, all alone till they found you. No fancy trainers, no top-of-the-line equipment. You didn't even have a place to sleep or food to eat. I taught you to find your first gun in a junkyard, while guards searched for us for stealing bread. For the thrice damned heaven's sake. But look at you now. You're further into the Monarch's lands than anyone has ever been. Inside their own castle, with the Monarch's top lieutenants lying dead in the room behind us. You've mastered a magical art that ain't no one except you, me, and 20 dead souls that came before us have ever learned. The urchin succeeding where the heroes all failed. 'Cause of your grit, your heart, and that thrice powder-cursed compassion you ain't ever been able to shake. Yes, your compassion has mattered. Damn it, kiddo. You think we wouldn't have gotten as far as we have if it wasn't for your kindness, forgiveness, and care for others. You think we could have gotten into this blasted castle on our own, uh, against the army they have out front? Exactly. No, we couldn't have. It's why we needed an army of our own. And who came to our call? Who is in this broken down, greedy, filled the world, answered our hidden messages, and whispered call to arms? Not just an army of strangers, kid. You didn't notice, did ya? The bounty hunters from the Liar's Bar, led by the bartender whose daughter you saved from that pack of werewolves without expecting anything in return. The orcs of that mountain tribe, whose well you wasted 3 whole weeks purifying, are out there, and they are marching right beside those dwarven miners you fled from slavery in the Dagot Crag. Dwarves marching with powder-blasted orcs. Their people have hated each other for as long as anybody can remember, but they march together because of your kindness. The goblins from the Briarwood you helped feed are attacking the walls alongside the wild harpies you freed from poachers' nets. Bonewalkers from the drowned forest are acting as barriers for pixie druids. The River City Watch is shooting down targets marked by members of the Thieves Guild. Powder-cursed hells, kid. There are farmers with pitchforks and fishermen with harpoons over there, fighting with the tools of their trade and nothing else. All because of you. You're a light in the darkness the Monarch has left behind. You're the hero these people needed, not because you've mastered spellslinging, or because you've got an unbending will, or even because you're willing to stand and fight when no one else will, but because of your kindness, your care, and your compassion for the hardships of strangers, for everyone you've ever met. That is why they are here, why we are here, why I am here. Why you know the Monarch of Roses and Thorns will fall today. Because a heart like yours, it can't abide a heart like the Monarch's to exist in the same world as it. Pure contempt and pure compassion, the embodiment of selfishness and the embodiment of selflessness. The most hateful person to ever walk the earth, and the most loving. They can't abide the presence of one another, not for very long. My point is, only one of you is walking away from today, and I have trained you too good and too long for you to die to scum like that. I can feel the arcana getting low, kiddo. I'm feeling weaker, but I got something I gotta tell ya before I go. Well, more like sometime I gotta tell ya, and something I need to give ya. I said earlier that you and I were the last living Spellslingers, but that ain't quite right. There's one more of us left. One last member of our magical tradition, still alive. His name is Dakota, and they will probably be with the Monarch when you find him. Yeah. They are the last of the Spellslingers that I trained when I worked for the Monarch of Roses and Thorns. The only one I couldn't kill. When my master, the first Spellslinger, passed, I wandered for a long while, purposeless, unmoored, working for anybody who had the money, and, as you already know, the Monarch had enough of the shiny gold I once loved so much to convince me to not just work for him, but to train an elite unit of Spellslingers. 20 slingers, all told. The other 19 I trained because I was paid to. They didn't care a lick for any of them. They all had the training to be Spellslingers by the time I was done with them, but they lacked the fire, the talent, the drive, the wild and reckless soul that a true slinger needs. The other 19, they were all just soldiers with gun magic, but Dakota was different. Dakota had the fire, kid. He had passion in his heart and an itch in his trigger fingers. He reminded me of my master when she had been in her prime. The way Dakota flipped and dodged and rolled with one of those dual-called clutches in each hand. We just clicked together. Dakota and I, master and apprentice, we were. I taught him every damn trick in the book, every spell, every technique, every philosophy and tidbit of our art that my master had given me. Every trick, save one, of course. You've played enough poker with me to know I always make sure to keep an ace hidden up my sleeve. Things were great for a long time. The pay was good, and the resources were excellent. I had a high position in the Monarch's military as the head of his Spellslinger division, and I had an apprentice I was mighty proud of to carry on my and my master's legacy. Problem was, as time went on, as I started seeing the kinds of missions we were taking going downhill, from hitting military camps or supply chains to darker places, burning farmland, raiding tiny little hamlets, kidnapping children. That one got to me. It was all of us out at night, running up all these kids, some younger than you were when I first found you. I've done a lot of bad things, kiddo, bled and buried a lot of people, and not always for a good reason, generally not for a good reason. But kids, children, I ain't ever directly harmed a child. Maybe I'm an hypocrite, cause I'm sure I've killed parents and caretakers before, but I ain't ever harmed a child on purpose, and that night I didn't either. The thing about the other Spellslingers I trained is that they'd never been able to beat me. Powdered cells, they never even made me break a sweat. So when I had surprise on my side, When I ducked out of nowhere, while they still thought I was an ally, they folded like wheat before a treasure, all of them, except Dakota. I didn't attack him. No. Instead, I begged him to look at what we were doing, to look at what we have become, to abandon the Monarch and escape with his kids into the night. But, well, Dakota is his parents' child, and just like the Monarch refuses to abandon this mission to conquer all, the Monarch's child wouldn't abandon it either. Not for anything or anyone. Not even for the one who taught him everything he knew about the magical art that gave him a life's purpose. Passing down that knowledge the way one passes down family magics to the next generation. To Dakota's credit, he was crying as hard as I was when he tried to kill me. He damn near managed it too. In the end though, I still had my ace. The branch of our magic that I never taught him, that he didn't even know existed. Arcane grenade, based on those ancient explosive artifacts rarely found in those ancient caches left behind by whichever fallen civilization that was able to create guns, a knowledge and craft that even the Monarch has never rediscovered. Arcane grenade, the most destructive spell in a gunslinger's arsenal. Yeah, you're right. When I taught it to you, I said it was the magic we used when we needed to make damn sure that someone died. Only I didn't want him dead. I couldn't bring myself to kill someone I was so close to. So I only used the flashbang variant of the spell. I blinded him, deafened him, and then knocked him out, tied him up, slapped his cold revolvers, and left him there. Though I don't doubt they've replaced those guns now. I'm telling you this because I know you're gonna have to fight Dakota, and he's gonna say some things about me, challenge the memories you've got, and I wanted to make sure you knew it all going in. And I also got a selfish request. I know I ain't got a right to ask, but... What? You'll try to give Dakota a chance. Suppose that was an obvious thing for me to ask. Thank you, kiddo. Somewhere deep down, I know he's a good kid. Don't you dare put yourself at risk though. If Dakota won't listen, if you give him a fair chance and he refuses, don't you dare put yourself at risk trying to save him from himself. I am asking you to give your brother by teacher and by magic alteration a second chance. But only a second chance. If he rejects that, then he's made his choice, and you help him lie down one final time in that bed he's made. Yeah, got me, kiddo. that done, I got one more thing to do. Like I said, I got something to give you. Here, my Henry 44. It's fully invested, so it shouldn't take any more arcana from your core. Its magic should recognize you and bond to you the moment I pass. It should serve you well. Hey. Now you listen to me. You ain't gonna refuse this because it's my gun. I don't care if it don't sound right for you to use it or bond with it. It's my arcane arm, my legacy, just like you, and I get to pick what happens with it. It isn't meant to be buried by my side and left to rot in a hole. It is meant to be used. And besides, you need it. Your main combat gun is your sawed off, but it ain't got a lick of range in it beyond close quarters, and it's aligned to defense and protection. It strikes down the wicked and those who threaten the homes and hearts of others well enough, sure, but that will always be secondary to its job to protect and defend. It will always serve you well. But there will never be a substitute for a pure combat gun, especially not when aligned with two separate concepts, like my Henry. Blood and fire together on one weapon. Well, you've seen what it does. It's a weapon of war, not a tool of protection or healing like your other arcane arms. And you're gonna need a weapon of war to win this war. Besides, then we always promised that we will stop the Monarch of Roses and Thorns together. This way we can. I may not be able to be with you in the blood and flesh, but this way I can still fight beside you in spirit in gunpowder and lead. There you go. That's good kill. Yeah, you keep him safe for me, Henry. Yeah, here. Yeah, keep my kid safe. You get that bastard Monarch. I know you'll do me proud. Kill so proud.